Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name is Elliott. I run a company called Botters, and in the last 4 years, I've spent well over £22 million on advertising and generated in excess of £100 million in revenue for our clients. Now, a big chunk of that revenue was generated for online education businesses. So people selling their expertise, their education in the form of memberships and also kind of high ticket programs online. So that's become our kind of bread and butter. And it's a big saturated space now, lots of people in that area. And honestly, we're killing it. We're sending out our little trophies to our clients because we're having record months right now. But the model has changed and it's difficult and it's hard. And so I wanted to peel back the curtain in this video and really share our current blueprint for what is working for us so well right now when it comes to generating sales for online education businesses. So I'm gonna share my screen, dive into the laptop and show you this whole entire funnel. So as you can see, this funnel, it has many stages. Looks kind of complex, but actually it's relatively simple. And it leverages like the 4 most important things. First thing is paid traffic, so consistent sources, and I'll dive into exactly where we get those from. The second thing is landing pages, very specific, highly designed landing pages. Third thing is then automated follow-up. So all the sequences of emails and SMSs that we use that go out automatically. And then finally is the sales team, right? You gotta have a sales team in this day and age, especially if you're selling high ticket stuff. As I get into, the lack of trust in today's market means getting on the phone and having conversations is more important than ever. So let's dive in. So right on the left-hand side, we have like where the growth begins. And the 3 primary traffic sources I recommend at the moment are meta ads, YouTube ads, and the email list. So I'll explore all 3 of them. So what's working ridiculously well for us at the moment is YouTube ads, so this discovery style ads. So not the typical in-stream YouTube ads where you appear in the middle of someone watching a YouTube video. No, but they're called in-feed YouTube ads. So you appear, your thumbnail and title in the recommended videos when people are browsing. So they have to self-elect and click to choose to watch that video, and then you only get charged as the advertiser if they watch 30 seconds or more. And this means that if you position your videos correctly, you're only getting people who choose to watch that video. And if you make the videos relevant to who your specific ideal customer is, then it should be a very high quality source of traffic. Now, what makes this work very well is the economics behind YouTube are great. And so what I mean by that is it's super cheap to get these views. And so the way we then actually take these initial views of these videos and take them to the next level is to have what we call a big pillar piece of content sat on the YouTube channel. And so this big pillar piece of content is basically an ungated, almost like VSL or webinar that runs through the entire story, problem that you solve, how you solve it, your unique mechanism, and like what to do next. It's basically like the piece of content you wish every prospect would watch before they ever interacted with your business. And so we get all the traffic through the discovery in-feed ads. They then click through and look at the YouTube channel, find the big pillar piece of content, go through there. And then in the description of that big pillar piece of content, we then send them through to either a specific lead magnet page or indeed straight to a VSL. So that's what I'm very bullish on at the moment, and I'll do a separate video on this YouTube strategy in the coming weeks. Of course, then I'm a big fan of email lists, so we have our own newsletter. All our clients, we run ads to build up their email list as well. And so you would send that email list directly to this YouTube big pillar piece of content, as well as other lead magnets that we might create for very specific things. Finally, we have the meta ads, which is just an absolute timeless traffic source for us. They've changed a lot over the years for sure, but like we're still getting tremendous success and some very good high quality leads. We're finding generally at the moment, the emphasis is on creating ads that only your ideal customers want and kind of running that to broader audiences, and obviously having a super valuable lead magnet that is just really relevant to your customers. And so like for lead magnets, loads of stuff on creating lead magnets online. I think Hormozi's $100 million leads framework is great, where you want your lead magnet to just be a very specific solution to a narrow problem that you can give completely to them. And upon receiving that, they then discover, okay, there's loads of other stuff that I now need help with, and that's where your service kind of comes in. So those are the traffic sources that we're utilizing at the moment. So the YouTube, the email, and the meta ads are really all the traffic sources you need at the moment. And so we'll run those to a lead magnet, as I've just described, where we're offering something very specific in exchange for their details. Now, if they don't opt in, we will retarget them, and that's what that little line is there. But when they do opt in, that's great, and they go into our system and they get our first sequence of automated emails. So they will obviously get the delivery of the lead magnet, the thing they have downloaded, and if they are not an existing contact, then we are going to add them to our indoctrination series. So this is a very carefully curated 30-day email sequence, which is designed to completely indoctrinate someone who's brand new into our business and our world. So we share our stories, we share our beliefs, we give them loads more free value, and we're basically just trying to front end so much value into the start of this early relationship by dripping it into their inbox that we kind of fast track the long relationship building period that is necessary before someone's willing to spend many thousands of pounds on, you know, an expensive online program. So that sequence is really important and plays a really big role. Of course, then they're going to go to a thank you page, and you want to have your thank you pages set up. So again, they're just giving more and more value. So on the thank you page, we outline, here's exactly what you need to do next. We'll have more case studies to prime people that your thing is good, and we just overload them with proof. And we will also then have normally a video that explains like exactly what they need to do next. So they're kind of ready for it, and we're priming them, and we're just gathering all of these touch points. The super big important thing then is going to be the VSL. So we're big fans of a VSL, so a video sales letter, and that is where we send all of our traffic once they've consumed some of these early YouTube videos, and even some direct meta ads to that as well, because again, a good VSL should just do so much in a short space of time. Like if your product is genuinely good and solves a really narrow problem, and you've got a good story that explains how you gather this expertise and how you can now solve it, the VSL is just keep it direct. Have a nice story. Anywhere from 6 to like 15 minutes is a bit of a sweet spot for us. And of course, the call to action from that VSL, we run it as application only. So again, rather than opt in or register your interest or sign up now, we switch it to an application, because that little nuance of flipping the psychology where you have to apply for this thing rather than just, you know, you're able to buy it, has a big impact. And it also means we're able to gather lots more qualifying information about the lead at the point of the application. And it means then we'll get some useful stuff through to the sales team, and they can decide how to prioritize the leads and so on and so forth. So that VSL is critical. And then once they've done the VSL, couple of things happen. So based on the criteria that they put through in the application, if they meet our criteria, they'll be taken to a book a meeting now page, so they can just book in a slot directly with one of the sales reps. However, if they don't book in a meeting, then we have our appointment setters. So our appointment setters are going to be running in the background, and these guys are going to be calling up every single lead pretty much as soon as it comes in. And their job is to get on the phone, qualify the lead first and foremost, and then actually book them in for a consultation, strategy call, the sales call with the with our closers. So that is their role. Now, I cannot understate how important having appointment setters are. And if you're an online education-based business and your funnels are just, you know, performing worse and worse year by year, as you're relying on doing them without a sales team, like the single most important, impactful thing you can do is just get some appointment setters. Honestly, it just like whatever your funnel's doing, if you have a good appointment setter, it just like doubles the whole efficiency of the entire thing. So that is just critical. They're running those triage calls. Again, if we're not getting through to them, we have got a few engagement emails that go out in a kind of automated pipeline, and we wait for them to respond. If nothing, they'll eventually just be removed from the sequence, but hopefully the combination of the appointment setter and the automated stuff means that we get them booked in, and that is when, again, we have a final lead review and qualification process. So what this means is we have, based on the qualification criteria, we have different types of leads. Not all leads are equal. We have good leads, we have average leads, we have like not that great leads. And so we can score them based on this criteria and then determine what to do with them. So if we have an A lead, which is someone who meets all of our criteria, then we can boom, keep them on the calendar, even prioritize them, trying to pull them up, and then get them straight on with one of the closers. Now, if they are a bad lead, then we want to actually potentially, depending on how busy the closer is, just cancel it, or certainly move them down the priority order. So that's kind of the stage that happens there. And it means that, again, once you're at a good volume of sales calls, you want the team to be prioritizing based on the quality, because that's ultimately going to have a big impact on the closing rates and the efficiency of the entire funnel. Once they are there, then the meeting show up series. So this is another automated series that we deploy to get people to show up to the calls that they are booked in on. Now, again, we always see the time between the appointment booked and actually the appointment sat we always notice that the closer the time between the appointment being booked and it taking place, the higher the show up rates naturally. But certainly having a combination of email and text message. Text message is killer for us here as well. And more recently, we've been trying to do more with WhatsApp as well. So the sales rep will actually send a WhatsApp from their personal account just to confirm the attendance as well. And that is working. Again, a whole separate video on show up secrets, because you could talk about that for ages, but giving them a clear reason and an indication that actually they're going to get something valuable out of this call and that you guys are doing work going into it seems to be like the thing that moves the needle for us the most. That obviously triggers a little bit of reciprocity, where like if you know someone's doing some work, you're going to be way more obliged almost to like show up and listen to it. So that's been quite effective for us there as well. Of course, not everyone shows up, just got to deal with it. So if they were a good lead, we'll definitely try and follow up with them and rebook and even set the appointment setters loose back on them. But otherwise then you're into the sales call and hopefully then you are closing them. And again, there's a whole other thing you could talk about there. So this kind of funnel works really well for us in a couple of ways. Like the first way is that we're relying on traffic that's centered around not just getting like super cheap clicks and like immediate applications, but we're doing like the step before with some of the YouTube content and the big pillar piece of content to warm them up and build like additional layers of trust before we're trying to get them applying and then like get the appointment setters set loose on them. And so as a result, it means we feed the appointment setters and indeed the sales reps with leads that are already kind of educated and understand the whole journey. So that then makes the entire process of closing them, bringing them on, much easier for them as well. So this kind of trust building system is absolutely working wonders for us. So if you want to actually download this whole sheet and have access to it, I've linked it in the description. You can make your own version. And yeah, we'll be very interested to hear what's working well for you right now in the online education space. But otherwise, appreciate you listening. Hope you found this useful and I will see you very soon.